Fellow tennis nerd, I'm here with Coach Adri again. I know you love him. And he's going to tell you how to do a drop shot today. This is kind of a shot that you see a lot on the tour these days. It's become one of the main weapons in most players' arsenal, maybe most famously Carlos Alcaraz. But you see loads of players doing the drop shot. So we're going to let Adri give us some tips on how we can improve ours.
So today we're going to look into the drop shot, as Jonas said, that we're seeing it a lot on the tour these days, especially by Carlitos Alcaraz. There are other very good examples. Marozan, I think that he has a fantastic drop shot.
Even better, yeah.
Maybe even better. He's just not as high ranked as Alcaraz, but I mean, Marozan is up there. So if you haven't checked him out, please do. Even Sinner famously has said now after the US final, said that he needs to develop some other shots in his game, the drop shots being one of them. So he's trying to implement it. It doesn't seem too natural for him, but I mean, these guys are so good. So as they work on it, they practice it and put it in a real situation, in a match play, I'm sure that he's going to get used to it and find a way how to win points with the drop shots or even post drop shots, which many people get confused that a drop shot has to be a winner. It's not always the case. The drop shot can be a shot where your opponent is on defense, even though he's inside the court. He or she is inside the court, but he's hitting the ball from below the knees or below the net and kind of need to pick up the ball. It's kind of an awkward position on the court, awkward position. You're not comfortable being down there if you have a good drop shot. They do not need to be a winner, but if you have a good drop shot, it can be a winner, but don't expect it to be a winner. I'd say this, that hit the drop shot and don't expect it to do a winner. If it is, then great, the point is over, but you have to follow up your drop shot. Usually we want to follow up the drop shot by coming to the net, because the only thing your opponent can do is pick it up and then you should be at the net to put the ball away. So we're going to get into everything about the drop shot, but yeah, a little introduction for you guys for what's coming. So first things first, we always start by the grip. How do we hold the racket to hit a good drop shot? We hold the racket with a hammer grip. The real word is continental grip. You've heard this before. Same for the volley, for the serve, for the slice. I did mention the slice can be a little bit more open. In fact, on a drop shot it could also, but let's keep it simple. Let's look for a hammer grip. The hammer grip will allow you to come under the ball. The drop shot has backspin, because when the ball bounces, you kind of want the ball to stay in its place. If you would come over the ball, even though it lands short, the ball is spinning in a forward direction. So after the bounce, the ball is going to spin towards your opponent, as your opponent is coming from back to front. While if you put a little bit of backspin, the ball is spinning backwards, of course, and then when it lands, it's either going to stay, or maybe it doesn't stay on the spot, but at least the second bounce is close to where the first bounce was. That's what we want to aim for in the drop shot. Also, when you're coming in from behind the ball, from behind and then come under, you kind of want to hit the drop shot where the ball is coming from up to down. Very often I see people wanting to hit a drop shot as short as possible. I would say that don't try to aim it as short as possible. Then you can mistake it by hitting a ball like really high into the air. Okay, it can land a meter from the net, but if it's high in the air, your opponent has time to run. I would aim deeper, somewhere in the middle between the net and the service line. You could even aim here, but you're hitting it kind of from up to down, or the ball travel in a straight line horizontally, and then gravity pulls it down, land in this area, and then the second bounce to land within the service line. If you can get that, it's going to be really effective. Also, you're going to have more margin, more room for error. You're not going to aim so short, because then you can miss it in the net. Also, the wind can maybe catch it. And I mean, most importantly, your opponent can run and see that it's coming high and then run and then hit the ball even after the bounce, and it's going to be easy to put away for your opponent. You don't want that. You want the ball to stay low. So why I say all this, keep a hammer grip, hit it from behind, slice with the hammer grip. I will allow you to do that. I'll explain everything more thoroughly now. The technique on the drop shot is fairly short, because you don't want the ball to travel far. The drop shot is a short ball, it's a soft ball, it's not a powerful shot. You want it to land short, and it's a slow ball to hit, so you don't need a big swing. However, the most important part about the drop shot is how you hit it, in what moment you hit it, and why, and what you're gonna do after the drop shot. So, the drop shot you want to hit primarily when you are stepping into the court. When your opponent hits an easier ball, centered, kind of short or slow, soft, maybe a little bit high, you want to pretend that you're going to go for an offensive shot. In fact, I actually tell my students that the drop shot is an offensive shot. The drop shot is a shot that you choose to do to go ahead and win the point. You don't do a drop shot in a defense position. You would do your drop shot in an offensive position, ideally, okay? Maybe you see Alcaraz do it sometimes, but when he does do it in a strange situation like in defense, it's probably because he's ahead on the scoreboard. Also, I mean, he's a very good professional, he's done it for many years, and probably very confident. Sometimes he's just saying like, I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens, because he does have that kind of impulsive mindset sometimes. But yes, I'll get back to the point that you use it in a stable position where you are inside the court, in offense, that you feel like you can go and win the point, not only with that shot, but maybe that one or the shot after, or even two shots after, but you're going in to win the point. So the first thing you want to do is prepare as if you're going to hit your offensive shot, an attacking shot. If it's a forehand, I want to prepare with my forehand grip. If it's the backhand, I want to prepare with my backhand grip. In my case, I have a one-hand backhand. I'm going to prepare with my one-handed grip as if I'm going to attack the ball, as if I'm going to hit strong. So when your opponent sees and feels, I mean, he's just hit that shot. So he feels that he hit a soft ball, low quality shot, no real depth, no real power. And he sees you coming into the court to attack. What's your opponent gonna do? He's maybe hit that last shot from the baseline, but when he sees you stepping in and with an offensive position grip, like you're gonna attack the ball and hit strong, your opponent is probably going to take 2 or 3 steps back to expect a strong shot to either side and then have a little bit room to react and run to that ball. So that's the moment where your opponent is taking a few steps back, and then he's gonna have to react and move forward because you choose to do a drop shot. In fact, it's really good if you use it in that situation, because if I'm gonna attack strong to his forehand side or strong to his backhand side, that's a 50-50 chance that my opponent gets used to that I might hit it. But if I start to include drop shots to his forehand side or drop shots to his backhand side, now there's 25% chance of hitting to either spot on the court. So now he's a real dilemma now, doesn't know where I'm gonna hit, if I'm gonna hit that way or short. So then next time he's gonna be unsure, am I gonna step back, should I step forward, what's gonna come? Really makes your opponent think, really makes your opponent doubt, and doesn't really know what's coming, and that's when it starts becoming real effective. So always use the drop shot, or at least my advice is to hit the drop shot when you're in an offensive position on the court, where you can choose to either attack or do a drop shot. But bear in mind, the drop shot, treat it as it's an attacking shot, not by power, but by intention through the shot. As soon as I do my split step and I judge that the ball is going to come short, soft, maybe high, and I'm going to go for an attacking shot, I'm going to step in, and I'm going to step in with my forehand grip in this case, but it can be your backhand grip if it's on your backhand side. Okay, I step in and I want to stop, and the more you can wait to change your grip, the better. It's like you're hiding the shot. You don't want to give away. If you automatically run with an open racket face, your opponent is going to expect one of two shots, either a drop shot or maybe a slice. But if it's on your forehand side, the slice doesn't really make any sense. So he'll probably know that you're going to do a drop shot. So the more time you can wait in this position and then change grip and then go. Okay. Another really important part on the technical part on the drop shot is a little step into the ball, through the ball as you're hitting. That's going to give you that room and that margin to clear the net. Very often I'm seeing this, everything is correct, and then when you hit it and stay, you're going to feel the power to make it go just over the net. But if I feel it a little bit too little, I mean, and it goes too soft and it goes in the net, I mean, then I'm giving the point away because I'm choosing to be offensive. When you're in an offensive position, you want to win that point. So if I miss it in the net, I'm going from going to win the point to automatically losing the point. And you don't want that to happen. You're giving away that point. I'd say you step in, you stop, change your grip, and then when you hit it, step into the ball. That little body motion, that little momentum that you put in with your legs, with your body, apart from creating a little bit of enough power for it to be a drop shot, that little body movement is going to help you clear the net more consistently every time. Try it out and I'm sure it's going to work for you. And if you see Alcaraz, watch him. He's a great example. Marozan also, he's doing the drop shot and then his right leg is coming around. The same as if you're going to hit a forehand topspin, it's the same. Okay, and the same comes for the backhand, okay? You prepare here, and then when you do a drop shot, you step in, or you step in with your left, with your right, but step forward. And the puzzle all comes together when you know that after the drop shot, you should follow your ball. You should come forward. It's an offensive shot, just as if you're doing an approach, you come forward to the net to finish the point at the volley. The drop shot is the same. When you do your drop shot and you follow through with your leg, that's automatically going to give you the momentum to push off and continue your run. I'm going to show you what it would look like if you don't step through it. You do your drop shot and then you have to push, but then you might react a little bit too late. Or you move forward, maybe you see yourself in this position, but in reality you could have been in this position if you would have simply just stepped through with your leg as you're hitting it, because the momentum. It should look as something a little bit like this. Chain, step, and then boom, and then you push off. And very quickly, very swiftly, I am already in a very healthy position at the net to be able to cover the court. I'm going to demonstrate a little bit how you're going to want to approach or how you're going to move forward after the drop shot. So Jonas is standing now right in front of me in the center of the court, close to the net. So he's going to, I mean, you are going to see very easily what I'm trying to talk about. If I move, I change the grip, and as soon as I change the grip, I'm about to hit it, and I choose to go cross court. And I know already before hitting my ball, I know what direction I want to do my drop shot. Try to never go down the middle, go to either side. It's a little bit further distance for your opponent to run from center to one corner or the other corner than straight down the middle, okay? Go to one of the sides. Okay, I'm going to prepare, change the grip, hit my drop shot, and then follow with that first step, and that's going to allow me to come forward, and I'm going to follow my ball, okay? If I choose to go cross court to my opponent's forehand side, close to the net, I want to cover this side. You don't want to be all the way here because then your opponent has a very big court to hit at the other side. You want to be here. When you are in this position, if you look at this, Jonas, can you stand a little bit more there? Have a look at this. I split. If I take one open step, one open and react, I'm covering this entire court very fast. Okay, I can check my end of my frame is covering the singles line. And by being in this same position, Jonas is standing approximately where my opponent will be retrieving my drop shot. Okay, I do same, one open step and I react, and I can cover the entire other side of the court by moving a little bit diagonally towards the net. If I move horizontally, okay, my opponent can maybe do a counter drop shot close to the net. If he can do that, you just clap to him, he deserves that point. But if you open and close the court a little bit diagonally inward, you're covering a very big area on the court. And bear in mind, your opponent is going to be under stress, he's going to be sprinting, he's going to be running as fast as he can, he's going to be retrieving the ball from below the knees, below the net, needs to pick it up, it's not easy to pass. And then if he does get there, you can block it to the other side or block the volley to the other side. Okay, but I highly recommend to move forward, yes. Or you can lob him. There, you lob him and then he has to run again, and then you can play a little bit cat and mouse until the point is over. No, but try to put it away as soon as possible. But by doing these few steps, you're going to see that you're going to be highly effective after your drop shot. And remember, treat your drop shot as if it's an offensive shot and like it's an approach. Don't expect it to be a winner. Don't just hit it and see if he gets there or not. Because if he does, and you stay back, he has all that down the line to hit, all that cross court to hit, and then what happens is that your opponent is automatically in an offensive position on the court. He's going to be at the net and you're going to be at the baseline. And that's not...
Also drop shot you back.
And he can also drop shot you back. You're absolutely right. And that's tough because the ball is very little time in the air. From there to there, the ball is traveling very short amount of space, distance. Hence, there's going to be very little time in the air. So you're running from the baseline all the way there is going to be tough. So follow up your drop shots and it's going to help you so much. It's all about the intention of what you want to do with the drop shot, your objective, and how to follow up afterwards. It's going to help you immensely with your drop shot. I'm going to be doing a few drop shot demonstrations using Jonas's assistant today, Mr. Ball Machine.
Pongbot.
Mr. Pongbot, that's the one. No, but we've set it up, okay, in a position where, it's going to place the balls roughly around the service line. As I did mention that a drop shot, you mainly want to do it as you're moving into the court, into offensive position on the court, into the green zone, which if you go far down into Jonas's channel, you're going to see that drill that we talked about a few years ago, traffic light drill, I think we named it. But now we're talking a lot about the technical out of every shot. I mean, that's what we're going to start with. If you go back to that video, we did talk about the different positions on the court, what they mean, what you should do from them. And this kind of ball, this kind of drop shot, you want to do in a green position on the court. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And I'm sure someday in the future, we're going to redo a video on that for the second 100%. Channel. The balls are going to land roughly around the service line. They're going to come quite easy, representing a low quality shot from your opponent. You don't want to be doing drop shots when you're moving backwards or when you are in defense or when the ball is coming really strong. I wouldn't recommend it. You guys will probably say, yeah, but Alcaraz does it. Yeah, but there's only one of him. But you get my point, okay? So choose wisely when you're going to do it if you want it to be effective, which I'm sure you do. What I'm going to look for, okay, is hitting the drop shot. I've put up some targets. The targets are roughly in the middle of the net and the service line, okay? That's the depth of those targets that I've put up. And they're roughly in this, actually pretty much center of the square. If they go a little bit wider, it's gonna be even better, but I'm really cutting down the mistakes wide, and I'm also cutting down the mistakes in the net. Really try to aim there, and if it ends up better, great, but you don't want to aim too good because then such a slim margin for it to be out, and then it's like the opposite of good. You're losing that point. And I want my balls to stay low. I don't want my balls to float from the racket face, go high and down. They might get a little bit of height just to clear the net, but ideally I want it to travel as low as possible because that's going to guarantee my ball after the first bounce that is going to stay low, and the second bounce is going to come shortly after, soon after. And I'm going to end by saying that if you hit a very good drop shot, the second bounce should be within the service line. Okay, that's a good reference point for you guys watching this. If you're able to hit a drop shot, the first bounce is obviously short and the second bounce is within the service line. It can be even second bounce in the doubles alley, but within the service line, good drop shot. Okay, that's a good reference point for you guys if you don't have targets, or even in a match you do a drop shot and the second bounce lands also within the service line, good. If the second bounce lands past the service line, maybe it's still okay, but it can be better. So that's a good way for you guys to work on it. That was good, that was low. And the second bounce was within the service line. That one was also low and within the service line. There I'm aiming too low and it's going to the net, so that's not good. Let me correct it. Ah, vamos, Adri. There we go. Ooh. Ooh. Come on, I want that target. Notice how my preparation, I'm holding a topspin grip like I'm going to hit it. Last moment I change the grip and then I do the drop shot. And I'm following through with my right leg, ideally, okay? In some positions, if I'm a little bit off balance, maybe I'll step in with my left. It's not what I'm trying to do, but sometimes I just have to adapt to the situation. Maybe I was off balance with my legs, maybe I didn't have the right distance, so I need to adapt. It's not ideal, but sometimes you need to adapt. Let's go down the line. There we go. That was good. Eso. The best one. Very important also when you do the drop shot to don't overdo the drop shot. Your opponent is going to start to kind of read it or pay attention and kind of know when it's coming or try to read certain things that can maybe lead your opponent to think that you're going to do a drop shot. Don't overdo it. Also, I wouldn't say to do it just for any reason, like how often do I see like people rallying, getting a long point, and then I don't know what to do anymore, I'll just like throw a drop shot in there, or I'm out of breath, I'm tired, I'm going to throw a drop shot in there. Chances are that if you're tired, your opponent is also tired, so try to hold in that rally a little bit more. Doesn't mean that don't do the drop shot at the end, just do it when it's the right moment, when you're stepping into the court, when you're a little bit in offensive position. Maybe you don't have the energy to hit it, so then maybe you do have the energy to step up and do a drop shot, but don't do a drop shot like stretching out there and being defensive. Choose the right moment and don't overdo it, because then your opponent is going to start to read it, and then instead of being effective, it can be the opposite of effective. It's another tool in your toolbox. Use it in there when it's the right moment, when it's the right time. There's not a correct amount of times you should use it, or a few times or too many times. Just use it when it's the right moment, and the more you do it, the better you'll be at it, but just don't overdo it, okay? You'll feel it. Or you can even practice with your friend to do it a lot just to get that feeling, so when it's your next competitive match, you feel more comfortable. That's another way. Or get someone to feed you balls and practice it. In fact, I was just using this ball machine, and Jonas, I asked him kindly to cut it out of the video, but my first probably 6, 7, 8 drop shots are all in the net, until I start to get the hang of it, and then I said to Jonas, from now you can start to record. No, but the more you do it, try to get the feel of it, and then you'll be more and more consistent. So hope this works for you guys.